This is Kyle, or Hegemon. Maybe you know him as both, or one or the other. It's his alter ego. And this is Corey, behind the scenes guy, camera guy. All right, so let's get this kicked off. So how are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Do you mind if I do an intro too?
Oh, no.
All right.
Not.
This happened last time.
Take 2.
Welcome to Stop the Music Skate Park Edition. So we're going to talk about the skate park music video. Nick's going to ask us questions that we don't know. And we're here at his apartment. This is the first interview he's done with the blue couch. So hopefully many more for Nick Dotson. Back to you, Nick.
Oh, well, thank you, Kyle. How many times did you guys fall? Be honest. And what do you break?
We had a lot of injuries. I was the first one testing out going down hills, and I scraped my knees, messed up my jaw, hurt my back. Then I brought Corey along, and I would coach him. I'd be like, okay, you can make it down this hill. But as we got closer to filming, it was Corey who started getting injured more than me.
I was testing with most of the stuff we did.
Hurt his hip, hurt his wrist.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing you guys believe in healing, right?
Yes, sir.
So I have to ask, what is up with your hair? Can you tell everybody what's up?
Yeah, so the hair was just, I just wanted to do something to be different in the whole concept.
What's different?
Yeah. The whole concept of skate park was having someone who just doesn't fit in with anybody. So I just felt it helped me play the role a little bit better.
Can you describe that lyric, or what were you thinking, or go more in depth to I don't fit in even with misfits? So what influenced that? Because I mean, I think you just talked about it, the blue hair, but
yeah,
that really stuck out to me.
I think just me personally, I've never really felt like I fit in anywhere. Went to a few different schools growing up, and I've always not really felt like I belonged. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's funny that I wrote this line because even when we were in the skate parks and interacting with the kids, even though I thought that, okay, all right, if I start skating and I dress a little bit different and I dye my hair blue, I'll fit in. I still didn't fit in at all.
Tell me about your life, seriously, because I feel like that this song that you wrote is in depth and who you are, right? That the lyrics not only talk about just fun and skate park, but there's so much more.
Yeah, so the whole concept of this song came when Corey and I got off tour. When we were on tour, we went to a lot of skate parks. We were talking with kids there.
Oh man, this is
Coming in hot. Woo!
Yo, what's it doing?
Oh my goodness.
No!
Oh!
And so when we got back home, I wanted to make a song that would speak to skaters because it's its own culture and group of people that I felt like I identified with because they are somewhat of an outcast group. And so personally, just my life in general, and even with doing music, I felt like I could relate to that.
Yeah, I feel like not everybody can fit in, and we do the best we can, but you just gotta be yourself.
And as Christians, do you think we should fit in? I mean, we should, not be too crazy, but as Peter says, we're aliens, we're foreigners in this world, and the Bible teaches that this is not our home, we're citizens of heaven, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, in the way we talk, we read the Bible, we don't do things that sometimes the culture and society says is fun, and we take different stances on different issues. So has that affected just your writing at all, or has that affected just how people perceive you even in general?
It's different for me as an artist putting out music because I'm a Christian. So I feel like where God has put me is more in the culture than necessarily in the church. But I'm still a Christian through and through. So I'm doing things to relate to people where they're at. That's why I became a rapper. That's why I do music, because it relates to people where they're at. And it's not necessarily worship music, but it's still Christian and it still has that message. Some songs, there's only just a little bit that maybe are going to get you to reflect on God.
Right.
But different people are in different places, and maybe that's where they need to start. So for me, and especially this song, you know, in my journey, first I became a rapper, and then I became a boxer, and then now I became a skater boy, because I'm trying to reflect what Jesus did, because God sent him to become a man, become like us, so that we could relate to God and we could see God. I just try to imitate that with what I do with music, relate to people, become like them, so that they can understand who God is.
Let's get more specific. Talk about those hurdles and those hardships of just while filming, trying to get certain people involved. If you want to talk about that, I think you know what I'm talking about. Like what your idea was, and then what happened. How'd you find out? Why Canton, Ohio? Like, how'd you pick the spots? Talk a little bit about that, and the police as well. Trying to get the police involved without actually getting really arrested.
Initially, it was like we're learning how to be skaters, and we're looking for places, so we spent a lot of time at the Alliance Skate Park. And when there, we made a friend, and he was telling us, hey, you gotta check out 9th Street DIY in Canton, you gotta check out Hudson, has a cool skate park. So we just became like skaters looking for a good place to go and to learn and to practice. And that's why we ended up in Canton. And I had no idea that Canton was such a great place to skateboard, because there's a lot of concrete, and they have some 9th Street DIY is one of the best parks around.
So if you get run over, don't run into anybody. Ready?
Yep, done.
And I was like, we should do a live show at one of the parks.
Mic check 1 2.
Ayo, Kush, you back at?
And so we did that, and we filmed in front of the courthouse there. Like, all of these things just kept happening. We didn't know that like we would find these film spots, but we went to the first place and just started, and then it would lead to the next step. We had a spot where we were filming the spray paint scene.
Yep, you're going fast, so you're about to pass it. Yep. Keep going past the fire hydrant and then turn in.
Funny story there is that when we were filming that, Corey's car, the battery died, so we were stranded at that spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
We walked to the gas station to ask for help. It was like midnight. Nobody wanted to help us. Everybody thought we were crazy. Everybody thinks I'm crazy because my hair is blue. It looked even crazier than this. Obviously, you saw the video. So there's some random guy with blue hair asking them if they could walk a couple blocks to help restart their car, and nobody was buying it. We walked back, and as we walked back, there was a truck parked in the lot. We go over and talk to him and said, hey, would you mind jumping the car? And he jumped our car. We had a good conversation with him, and I gave him one of my books. His name was Eric. We really appreciated him. Shout out to Eric.
If you're watching.
If you're watching. I honestly thought I was going to get arrested during this video because we were skaters, we were in places that maybe we shouldn't have been. We literally had God's favor everywhere. And we even got to work with the local police department.
Like a comforting look, like, it's all right. You know, just like, how would you look if you came to visit somebody that was in cuffs?
Through some of the filming. So, you know, God was so good to us throughout this whole thing, and it just takes that initial step of faith and just keep walking, and eventually we got this project done.
Wow. Well, can you encourage someone right now, whatever it looks like in your life, to take just an initial step of faith, whether that's becoming a Christian or taking a leap of faith where God is calling them or anything like that? Any encouragement?
The message of the gospel is simple, and the message of God is very simple, and all it really comes down to is, do you believe in me? Do you believe I am who I say I am? Do you believe in Jesus? God is more pleased by faith than sacrifice. It'll never be about how good you are or how good you can be. It's all about, do you trust me that I am who I say I am? And that's why the thief on the cross looked at Jesus and he said, remember me when you're in your kingdom. And Jesus said, I tell you, today you will be in paradise with me. Some people have a problem with the thief on the cross being a criminal, supposedly, his whole life, getting into heaven at the last second. But that's how much God loves faith and belief. It says in the Bible, if you lack faith, ask for it, because at the end of the day, that's a gift from God too. It's all Him. If you seek the Lord, you will find Him. And I can just tell you, Corey can tell you, I know that you believe this, it's the most important decision you'll ever make in your life. And it's the best thing you could ever do, because it's an eternal decision.
We can get to another video, but I really want to talk about the skate part and how being a skater boy misfit and filming in some sketchy areas and sketchy times really increased your faith.
Yeah, we were talking with Sam on the way up here. This was one of the longest projects I've ever worked on, because it's been a year and a half at least since the idea. Kush sent me the track, then I wrote it. We had at least 6 months of skateboarding experience, 2 different end of summer, fall seasons. The reason I wasn't able to put this out sooner was because I didn't have the means to do it. I didn't have all the pieces in play as much as I tried. And then even when we finally started filming, not all the pieces were falling together. It was never on my timeline. But I had to stay focused and say, this is the step I can take today. This is what I'm gonna do today. We can film in Canton at this spot right now. Let's go do it. We would finish that. The next thing would open up pretty much. We really wanted a girl for this video. I really wanted, because that was such a key part of the story, is that, this is me. I wasn't supposed to be the original actor. I wanted somebody else to be acting in this, but because of constraints, I ended up having to be it. And I think it worked out because I think it was nice. So I guess I'm telling you a half fictional story, but it's also my story, where I meet a girl, and that wanting to fit in and wanting to be liked by her, I end up doing something that I shouldn't be doing, which was the spray painting, getting in trouble and getting arrested for that. Realizing in a moment where I'm at the police station and I'm just at one of my lows, at that point turning to God and asking, that's why I kept posing the question through the song, I think I need to pray. I think I need to be saved.
Yeah.
And eventually I make that prayer. It radically changes the life of the individual.
So
and mine.
It wasn't just a momentary thing. It was, I think, and eventually just came all at a head, right?
Exactly.
And I think people can relate. I hope you can relate. I know deep down that you know that there's more to life than just living, going to work, and being depressed and going through hard times and then dying. And then just saying oh, there's a better place. He's resting in peace. We know that we know that there's a God. We know that there's something deeper, and we know the life we're living apart from God is just wrong in our hearts, right? Let's talk about that.
There's a longing inside everyone for a relationship with God. This is not home. This is not everything there is. I think it's important to remember that, not to get so wrapped up in this life. Corey and I together, we've risked our lives doing some of the things that we've done.
Yeah, I can say that.
And maybe we'll talk about that in a different video. Even with skating, it's a little...
I hope you wear helmets.
Yeah, we did. We did in training. Well, he never did.
In training.
At least I went first for the most part. Made sure it was safe. But those things in life are good because it makes you realize that you're going to die at some point, and that makes you think, is this all there is, or is there more?
And are you ready to go?
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about this, but you were a prodigal, right?
Yeah, it's part of my testimony. I grew up going to church, and I knew God, and I always had a deep understanding of Him and a relationship. And He called me at a young age, and I pursued it, and I loved God. But the biggest thing that happened to me was I just let sin enter my life, and it was mostly sexual sin was what I let into my life, and it just grabbed a hold of me. I just started seeing what the world had to offer, and I wanted that. And so it wasn't that I quit believing in God. I was just like, I'm sorry, I want to pursue my own thing. And during that time, I just became a different person. It wasn't until finally I broke down and through conviction of the Holy Spirit and also through my mom, just one night, I just saw how disappointed she was in me and who the person I'd become. You know, that was the turning point, and that was when I decided to change and radically turn my life around. And it was difficult because, like you said, I was a prodigal. I was heavily involved in the party scene and drinking and drugs, things that will ultimately destroy your life.
Stay well.
It was hard to dig out. I just continued to pursue God, and He was the one who cleaned me up. Yes, it was work on my part, but I had to just fight through it. And that's one of my testimonies in music, is that when I graduated from college, I was like 22, 23, and I went through such a period of anxiety and depression where I experienced suicidal thoughts and just a darkness that I had never been through before in my life. I had to climb out of that pit to be able to start putting out music. I reflect on it, I look back, and it's crazy to see where I was in such a horrible place to be where I am now. Not saying I'm like successful that much in music, but at least, you know, I have purpose in my life and I love what I'm doing. And I love being able to help the people that do see and do hear the music. And I think that's where people struggle, is when you don't know what your purpose is and you feel like you don't have one and you lose hope. That's the pit of depression. That's a really hard place. But the awesome thing with having a relationship with God is He can lift you out of that. And He can show you that you were created in His image. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. And you have a purpose, a God-given destiny in this life, that He wants more for you. And He created you for more. Not just in this life, but the life to come.
Amen. Amen. Tell us about your favorite trick you learned how to skateboard.
Well, I can't say we really learned anything.
That's a good question.
I was just gonna try to ollie, but what happened was I sprained my ankle really bad before we started filming, a few weeks before we started filming. So I was basically just trying to look like I was skating normally when I was filmed.
Looked like he's good at it.
Yeah. So we weren't able to really learn any tricks, but just got used to going down hills and ramps and that type of stuff. That was about it.
Are you good at half pipes? Are you good at different jumps, rail?
Well, if you check out my TikTok, you will see Corey
Failing.
riding the half pipe.
Oh,
It is worthwhile. So check out HEGEMON_MUSIC on TikTok. You get to see Corey with the ride of his life, I would say.
Glad I was wearing gear.
So, other than that, tell me more about how did you guys not get in trouble with spray painting? Like with the cops? I thought that's illegal. Graffiti.
We did not spray paint anything, just to clarify this. And the spray paint can we were using was actually the clear coat that you can see on the bottom of my board. It's like a finisher. You actually can't see it, but that's why it has like a little bit of a shine, a glimmer on the bottom of the board. So it's clear. So it's like you wouldn't even see it if you sprayed it on something. But so we did not spray paint anything. We just wanted to make it look like we were going to spray paint something.
Sam, did I forget anything? Do you guys want to go over anything that I forgot?
I don't have anything unless Sam can think of something.
I know you might ask this, but did you ask, like, are you guys planning on continuing to learn how to skate? Or is this just like a one-time thing for the video?
Skating is addicting. I don't know.
It is so much fun.
And we loved finding new parks. That was probably, it's like a thrill. It's funny because I was driving back I had to fly to Boston, and I was driving back. I was out in the middle of nowhere, and I saw this giant sign for an exit. I could have sworn it said, I don't know what the name of the place was, but it was like skate park. And I had never seen a sign that big for a skate park. So I was so excited. I took the exit. I was like, I gotta see this place. Only to realize it was actually a state park. So that's how much my mind has been influenced by this music video that I'm even reading signs wrong. But I don't know, you just get excited about it. So we'll keep skating for sure.
How about you? So behind the scenes, man, tell me how it's been for you overall. You're behind the camera, like did you take classes?
Yeah, I haven't took any classes. I took a photo class in high school. But behind the scenes, I guess it's been very dangerous because I have to film Kyle skateboarding while skateboarding. So
How do you master that? That's pretty insane.
just ride. Just ride. You really don't know.
Do you guys bring a med kit or anything?
No.
No, I never really thought about that.
It's the first thing I would have brought. Go ahead.
I don't think I have anything else to add. I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching.
May the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Life of a skater boy.